Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Rhodes. I am the director of the undergraduate social work program here at UNC Greensboro. If you're viewing this video, you are an incoming student, and I wanted to welcome you to UNCG. And most likely, you are interested in social work. And so I'm going to try to help navigate and orient you to the social work program, try to answer some of your questions, and try to help you get prepared and registering for classes. Excuse me. And looking up classes that you need. Um, Hopefully, this is generally what we do during the SOAR process, during orientation and registration. During the summer, most incoming students will come in and we have SOAR, and you go through orientation, you get to learn the campus. We have an advising registration session where I or one of the other representatives of the social work department will come in and we will sit down and kind of work with you to kind of walk you through this process of looking up classes, what classes you need, how to get oriented towards degree works and stuff like that. Because of the coronavirus, we're unable to do this. And I will be getting a lot of emails from you because you're confused. It's a new system, you don't understand it. And I'm finding that it will probably be problematic for me to try to answer all these questions on email. And so what I want to try to do is do a video. So I ask that you be patient because it's a Zoom video and I have to kind of navigate back and forth between a couple of different screens. But I'm hoping that this will kind of, it won't completely take place of being there with you to kind of walk you through this, but I'm hoping this will kind of help you to understand some of the nuances of trying to figure out classes and what you need to do. And if you have any questions, you can email me. My email is dtroads@uncg.edu. Hopefully this will be sent out in an email by me or Jennifer Clark, and we'll have my email listed. But just in case you need to email me, it's D for Daniel, T for Thomas, Rhodes, RHODES @uncg.edu. And then we can work through email. We can do Skype calls. We can try to do Zoom calls. Zoom calls seem to be work pretty well because what we can do with a Zoom call is I can pull up something on the screen for you to look at and try to walk you through that, which is what I'm going to try to do today. So most of you coming in will be incoming freshmen and transfer students. If you're an incoming freshman student, you may or may not have a few college credits depending on courses that you've taken at your high school. We do have some high school students who come in who have a complete associate's degree. We have high school students who come in who may have taken a couple of upper level courses and have counted towards college credits. And then we have students who are transferring in from other universities and community colleges. And it really depends on the school you're coming from, what your degree is, how many courses that you've taken. So it kind of disperses on a continuum with students. And so it makes it really challenging to try to give a one kind of box fits all explanation with students. So I'm going to try to walk you through, hopefully catching you on where you are at your educational process at this time as you come to UNC Greensboro. So if you're an incoming freshman with no college credit whatsoever, then you'll be starting from fresh. You have 0 credits, and I will show you the degree works to kind of get you an idea of what you need to do and navigate you through that. If you're coming in with college credits, it will be indicated on your degree works. I will be showing you degree works. I will be reinforcing degree works throughout this video. Degree works is basically your degree evaluation that you need to monitor on a regular basis to let you know where you are in your educational pursuits, where you stand academically at the university, how many credit hours you've completed, and how many credit hours you will need to complete. So unless you really orient yourself to degree works and understand degree works, you're going to kind of be lost this whole time. And this is where I get most of the questions from students after they've been in the university for a year or two is, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what courses to take. And it's because they really haven't oriented themselves to degree works. And so I really am encouraging you, and I'm going to show you how to pull up degree works and how to go through that right now. One of the two main factors of degree works that to me are very important are the number of credit hours you need to graduate For most of you coming in, that's going to be 120 semester hours to graduate, and also the number of credit hours that you have completed and are currently enrolled in. And I will show you how to find that on DegreeWorks. And DegreeWorks also basically tells you the courses that you need throughout your entire educational tenure here at UNC Greensboro. So I'm doing this primarily for social work students. Most of you should be social work students or thinking about becoming a social work student. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to try to bring up, let's see if I can get this to work correctly. Here we go. So I'm going to bring up DegreeWorks. And so the DegreeWorks that you are looking at right now is a DegreeWorks of a student who is not a real student. This is kind of a mock student. And so we're not really giving away any sensitive information. As you look up here at the name, it says Davis and it has duplicate data and stuff. And so we'd like to use this because DegreeWorks has sensitive information in it. It has your grades on there, has your student ID number, your academic standing. And so we don't want to use a student who already has all that information listed. So we're using this kind of mock student. And as you can tell, if you look down in the concentration there, and the major is pre-human development family studies. So we're going to change that so it'll indicate social work. So the first thing we need to do is to get you to DegreeWorks and how you get to DegreeWorks. And so what I generally have students do is I have you open up and go to the UNCG webpage. And as you see, this is our main UNCG webpage. And if you look up here, there are 4 circles. One is your iSpartan email. One is UNC Genie. One is the UNC director, and the other is Canvas. Canvas is our online platform that almost all our classes use to disseminate information. So you'll get familiar with Canvas as you start taking classes. But right here, the second one, UNC Genie, is the one that you really need to go to. So you're going to click the UNC Genie icon, and it's going to bring you to an area here, which is the UNC Genie homepage. And here it has Enter Secure Area. And so you're going to click the Enter Secure Area, and this is where you enter your UNCG ID number and your PIN number. And you want to make sure you do this correctly. After you do this 3 times, if you do it incorrectly, it will lock you out of the system. So once you enter your UNCG ID number and your PIN number, you click Login, and it'll take you to the login section of UNC Genie. Mine looks a little bit different because I'm a faculty member, but it is pretty much the same. There are just a couple of differences because it has faculty advisor and stuff. So what you're going to be looking for right here is what is called Student Services and Financial Aid. So when you click the Student Services and Financial Aid, you'll take you to another page. One, of course, is the registration. That's where you'll go to register for classes. And here on the second one is the student record. And the student record is the one that I need for you to go to. So when you click Student Record, it's going to take you to another page. And then down here, it says DegreeWorks. So when you click DegreeWorks, what will happen is your DegreeWorks will pop up. Now, what you'll see will happen with mine is it's kind of a blank DegreeWorks. Because I'm a director of a program, I can search everybody's DegreeWorks. And so if there's any questions or if there's anything missing on your DegreeWorks, you having confusion about your DegreeWorks, I can look it up. But your DegreeWorks will pop up. So what that means is it will pop up and look like this, except it'll have your student ID number, and it'll have your name, and it'll have your major. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple of items in DegreeWorks that you can do to kind of help you navigate this a little bit. One of them is if you've come in and you are an undecided major, or if you have declared your major as maybe something like Human Development Family Studies, and you are thinking about changing your major, you're going to use what is called a what-if analysis. This what-if analysis can also be used if you decide maybe social work is not for me and I want to look at another major and get an idea of what this major is. Now, this what if does not change your major. You have to go to the UNCG change of major and minor form, but it will give you an idea of what majors would look like. So since we're going to be looking at social work, I'm going to go down to the what if analysis, and I'm going to click this. And then what happens is you're going to come up, it's a little slow. Nothing really works quickly with the degree works. So what will come up is you'll see here a catalog year, and you're going to pick the current catalog year of 2019, 2020, and then pick the program, which would be for us BSW, Bachelor's Degree in Social Work. And so this is what it'll look like for students who, once I click the process, for social work students and the requirements for a social work major. Some of you may be interested in a minor. As an incoming freshman, you will have what is called 15 hours of courses that you can take that are what they're called free electives. And what that means is these are courses that you may be interested in: history, religion, philosophy, psychology, sociology. You have 15 hours of courses that you can take that is at your discretion. And a lot of students become uncomfortable with that because they want to know exactly what courses to take. And so for students who come in and are interested in, I want a little bit more guidance on those 15 hours, I will often encourage students to take a minor. And the reason I'm explaining this to you is because not only can you look at what the social work major is, if you're contemplating a minor, you can use the what if analysis to see what the requirements for a particular minor is, and then make a determination if you want to add that minor later. So when you look to the right here under social work, don't worry about the concentration piece. Pick a minor, you click it, and of course there's a whole list of minors. Minors come in many variations. You have minors like in peace and conflict studies. We have a lot of our students take peace and conflict studies minor. There's a lot of flexibility with that minor. So that means if you take 15 hours of peace and conflict studies courses, you're basically going to get a minor in peace and conflict studies. Some minors are a little bit more complicated, a little bit more rigid. One of them, which a lot of students wind up taking, is human development family studies. So I'm going to choose that as an example for a minor. And the reason I'm choosing that as an example as a minor is because a lot of our students like human development family studies as a minor. I often encourage students to look at minors based on what your interest is in social work. So a lot of our social work students are really interested in working with families and children. And so they decide to do human development family studies because it gives you a lot of orientation on family dynamics, the kind of lifespan of families from like birth to death, parenting skills, stuff like that. Peace and conflict studies will give you a lot of skills in conflict resolution, conflict analysis, restorative justice, conflict transformation, culture and conflict. So it really is kind of dependent on what you're interested in social work. But I'm going to use human development family studies as an example. And also because it's a more rigid minor, so there's not a lot of flexibility with it. So once you've done this in DegreeWorks and you click the process what if, what's going to come up, and what will come up for most of you if you have declared social work, is it's going to look like this. It's going to give you the degree, which is a bachelor's degree in social work. It will have the major. Some of you, it will have you down as pre-major. We are trying to get away from the pre-major designation. So at some point, I will want to work with you to try to get you away from pre-major and just go ahead and have you be declared as a major in social work. Declaring social work as a major and applying to the social work major as an official social work student is two different processes. You do not have to worry about applying to the social work major generally until your junior year, after you've completed Social Work 215, which we encourage students to take their sophomore year, not their freshman year, and are currently enrolled in Social Work 310, 311, which is generally in the fall semester of your junior year. And then you apply for the social work major to be an official social work student. So you don't have to worry about that right now. We just want to get you declared as a social work major so you can see all this on DegreeWorks and have an understanding of the courses that you need to take. A few things that you need to be really familiar with. The top part of DegreeWorks is right here where it says academic standing. This is going to let you know where your academic standing is. If your GPA falls below a 2.0 GPA, you will generally be on academic probation, and it'll say that right there. Or if there's some other glitch within the major, you may owe money for like a parking ticket or something like that, it may give you an error right there for the academic standing. That will also be indicated if you look to the left here where holds. So if you owe for a parking ticket, if you owe for past semester or something like that, you may have a hold on your account. The hold on your account sometimes will prevent you from registering for classes in the upcoming semester. The advisor for most of you will be the School of Health and Human Sciences Advising Center. The advisors for social work right now currently is me and Professor Thal. We'll try to get that information out to you. And we are going to be working towards assigning students to a broader range of advisors. The advising system and how students have been assigned advisors has changed a little bit, and so we're trying to get up to speed to that. Generally, me and Professor Thal, who is our field director, are kind of the go-to advising center currently in the social work program. And you can always follow up with the Advising Center of Health and Human Sciences. They're a great advising center, especially your first couple of years. But usually me and Professor Thal are pretty comfortable advising you on your general education requirements. I enjoy advising. It's one of my great pleasures in social work, being in this position. So over here on the right, it has overall GPA, which for right now will be 0.0. As a transfer student, if you're transferring in, your GPA from your previous university or institution is not going to come in. You're going to be starting with a 0.0 GPA. For transfer students, you really need to kind of keep an eye on that, because what can happen is you can transfer in with a couple of years. You need to have a 2.5 GPA to apply to the social work major. So if you're coming in as a transfer student and you take a class and you do poorly in a class, this will bring your GPA down pretty quickly. A freshman coming in, you're here for a couple of years, you're applying to the major, your GPA is going to be based on all the courses that you take, and so hopefully you will be able to kind of keep your GPA up to 2.5. But transfer students have hit some glitches where they've come in and taken a class that's kind of hit them pretty hard. So you want to kind of maintain an eye on this GPA, make sure it's a 2.5 or higher, and then just continue to work on increasing that GPA. The other two really important components of DegreeWorks that you need to keep an eye on, one here I'm highlighting, of course, to the right, is semester hours required. You are going to need 120 semester hours. There may be a handful of you that need 122. At this point, it's very doubtful. We've changed our system where you need 120 semester hours to graduate. The reason I reinforce this is because invariably, and we talk to the students about this over and over again in advising, it's in our handbook, it's on our website, it's on our suggested plan of study, and students invariably, I'll have a handful will come up senior year, spring semester, getting ready to graduate, and they have 114 semester hours. And they're like, I don't know how this happened. I don't know what to do. And the reason being is because you have not monitored and kept an eye on DegreeWorks and checked to make sure what your semester hours, because if you look right below semester hours required, there are semester hours applied. The semester hours applied, what that means is that's the number of hours you have completed at UNC Greensboro or have transferred in, and the number of hours you are currently enrolled in. So let's say you have been at UNCG for 2 years, full-time student, and you have 60 semester hours. You're starting the fall semester, junior year, you're enrolled in classes, you haven't started taking them yet. You've got 15 hours enrolled, so you will have 75 hours showing at that number right there. So that is the number of hours you have completed and the number of hours you are currently enrolled in. That gets confusing for some students, and that's where some students get kind of mixed up when they're looking at the final hours that they need to graduate with 120 going into their final year. So my suggestion would be that you just get used to looking at degree works several times a semester. When I was an undergraduate student, we had a degree evaluation that was a piece of paper. And I think what I really liked about that was it was a very tangible thing that we had to write things down and we had to calculate all the things that we needed to do and what we needed to take and hours that we needed to complete our degree. DegreeWorks kind of does that for you. And so it creates a little bit of a learned helplessness. You kind of go through, it's all taken care of. You look at the left here, and I'll go through this process a little bit. These little blocks start to have little check marks in them. You start to feel great about it. You could literally go through DegreeWorks and all these blocks will have check marks, but yet you will not have the 120 hours. Mainly because you, for a lot of students, have to have those 15 hours of free electives to complete the 120 hours. And so this is what really throws students off, is that they'll see all these green check marks. They think everything is completed, but they're not monitoring that semester hours applied and the semester hours needed. Please do not email me asking me how many hours you need to graduate. I will not answer that question for you. This is part of what you need to really do to start taking responsibility for your academic education here at UNCG. And we have close to 400 students in the program, and I can't sit down and calculate for every single student how many hours you have, how many hours you need, what you need to take each semester. It's really basic mathematics. You need 120 hours to graduate. You look at the number of semester hours applied, you subtract that, you divide that, and then you kind of figure out how many hours you need to take each semester to complete the 120 hours. If you take 15 hours a semester, you will pretty much have 120 hours to graduate. You need 12 hours to be a full-time student to receive financial aid. So if you are going to wind up taking maybe 4 classes a semester, you feel like 5 is too much for you, then you're going to need to look at how to make up those hours to complete 120. A lot of that will mean that you will probably wind up having to take some summer classes or even some winter session classes. But if you take 15 semester hours and you stay online with DegreeWorks and check off things like you need to, then you should be fine and you should have 120 hours to graduate. But you really have to take ownership and responsibility for this and keep an eye on the semester hours applied and the semester hours required. And I would just do this multiple times a semester. Just consider this your degree evaluation, this piece of paper you're carrying around with you and that you're keeping up with. So to kind of walk you through this a little bit, if you are a student coming from a community college with an Associates of Arts degree, because of the articulation agreement, what will happen is right here you see general education core classes, general education writing and speaking intensive, and general education global markers. All that will be collapsed. If you're coming in with an Associates of Arts degree, the articulation agreement with community colleges is that all your general education courses have been met. And so that means only thing you will really see are the social work courses and what are called the social work cognate courses, which are the general education courses that you will need as a social work student. So let's just assume you're coming in as a freshman right now, and I'm going to walk you through this a little bit. Are you coming in transferring from another institution with only a few semester hours that you've completed? So let's start here at the top. There's a lot of letters that throw students off, and I'm going to show you how to look these up. GLT, GHP, GMT, GNS, it gets overwhelming, but it basically tells you what they are. A G means it's a general education course, and LT just means it's literature. So if you look here, I'll highlight this. GLT just means it's a general literature course, and it'll tell you exactly how many you need. So you need 3 semester hours or 1 course in the GLT. And then it'll tell you over here 1 course at the attribute of the GLT. So basically you just need 1 general literature course. And if you look at this legend over here, a green check mark means it's completed. This kind of little blue squiggly line means that it is in progress. And there's a T, and the T will show up over towards the right under the GPA section, which you'll see right here. So instead of a grade, you'll just have a T. So first semester, you need a general literature course. I'll show you how to look that up. You take a general literature course. Once you're enrolled in it, it'll have a little blue squiggly line, and once you complete it, it'll have a green check mark, which means you're done. If you look below that, these are the humanities and fine arts. It says you need 9 semester hours, 3 courses from any of the list here, which is GLT, GFA, or GPR. That's general literature, general fine arts, or general philosophy and religion. And so you need 3 additional classes with the humanities and fine arts. So total, you'll need 4 classes, one of which must be a GLT, a general literature, and the other 3 can be a general literature, a general fine arts, a general philosophy and religion course. And then a historical perspective, mathematics course. If you look here, general natural science course, you need 6 hours, 2 courses, one of which needs to be a lab course. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and if you look down here under the social work, you need a biology course. So you either need biology 105, biology 111, or anthropology 253, which is anthropological biology, I think, which is a lab course. So we strongly encourage you, since you need the biology course, that one of your natural science courses be Bio 105. That's generally the course that most students take, and the Bio 105 lab. And then you'll need an additional natural science course later. And we will have students look at something like Introduction to Nutrition, a kinesiology course called Lifetime Wellness. These are a little bit more kind of liberal arts-based courses instead of having to take a chemistry course or anatomy course or something like that. But right now, if you're an incoming student and you have not taken any biology course, the natural science course that we really encourage you to take is Biology 105 or 111 in the lab. Most students generally take Bio 105 in the lab. So this is a checklist. You go down this and you check off these courses, and they meet the general education requirements, and you start just kind of going through this list and just trying to get as many taken care of as you can. When you go down below this, you will see that there is a writing and speaking intensive course, and as it shows, you need 2 writing and 2 speaking intensive courses as a requirement to graduate from the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. Technically, for social work students, you only need 1 writing and 1 speaking intensive course outside the major. When you get into your junior year, research methods, which is I'm highlighting right there, is a writing intensive course, and professional skills, which I'm highlighting right there, is a speaking intensive course. So what that means is you only need to take 1 general education course that's a writing intensive course, 1 general education course that is a speaking intensive course, and then the social work courses will meet the other writing and speaking intensive requirements. So you don't have to stress about trying to get 2 writing and speaking intensive courses. And below this are what are called the global markers. These are global and global non-Western courses. These are generally global non-Western courses that students need to graduate. This confuses me a little bit because historically you have needed 3 GL and GN and 1 GN course. This may be a little bit different because this is not an actual student, but just be aware that you do need a global and a global non-Western course. One of them must be a GN course, and the other can be a GL, GN. And once again, I'm going to kind of walk you through looking that up. And then once you get below that, you start getting into the social work classes. And social work 215, we strongly encourage students to take that sophomore year. You are unable to get into social work 310, 311, which is taking the fall semester of the junior year until you've taken social work 215. So if you wait too late to take 215, it's going to put you back an additional year. These courses are prerequisites and co-requisites. So what that means is before you can take social work 310 and 311, which are only offered fall semester junior year, you must complete 215. Before you take social work 315, 325, and 351, which are only offered spring semester your junior year, you must have completed social work 310, 311. You will apply to the major generally when you are in social work 310 and 311, which is December the 7th of your junior year. And then you get into the major requirements, which is the practice sequence. So social work is really heavily oriented towards community-based work. Social work 215, our introduction class, you're going to be doing 25 hours of what is called service learning, which is just volunteer work. Social work 310, which is our policy course, you're going to be doing 40 hours of service learning, which is volunteer work. This is all in preparation for you to be doing your internship your senior year, which will be an internship 2 days a week, 16 hours a week over the fall and spring semester, which will be totaling 440 hours of an internship by the time you graduate. So before you can even get into your internship, you have to have completed all your junior level courses, and you also have to apply to field. So not only do you have to apply to the major, once you apply to the major and have been accepted, then you have to apply for the field component, and that's Professor Thull's responsibility. He is our field director. And so your senior year, you'll be in 411, 413, 415 in your internships. And we will talk about this later. This is a part of our advising session as you become a social work student into the program and start meeting with us for advising. So I want to kind of come below what are called the related area requirements. We highlight that. And these are what we call cognate courses. These are general education courses that are specifically required for social work students. Some of them you will probably already take. Psychology, introduction to psychology is one of them. Introduction to sociology is one of them. PSC 200 is American politics. If you are a transfer student from a community college and you've taken like an American governance class or American politics class, that usually will count. You will need an economics course. This is not updated. Economics 101 or 201. We also will take Economics 100, which should be updated on your particular degree works. If not, I'm going to have to work with the registrar's office to make sure that gets updated. And the question I often get, do I need to take a foreign language to be a social work student? And so yes and no. You have a choice. You can take 2 semester hours of a foreign language at the elementary level. What that means is you can take Spanish 101 or 101 or 102, French 101, 102, or you can take 2 courses in what are called the cultural and diversity elective requirements. And so I've highlighted these. This is not an extensive list. If you take these courses right here, if you take 2 of these courses on this list, you automatically meet the requirements for the cultural and diversity elective. What happens from an administrative side is for me to get a course added to this list, I have to go through what's called curriculum committee. And it takes about a year to a year and a half for it to go through curriculum committee and then get populated onto DegreeWorks. There are courses that we would count as a cultural and diversity elective course that may be only offered once every couple of years, and we're just not going to go through the trouble of trying to get all these courses, and it would just make it unmanageable. It would be a huge list on DegreeWorks. And so these are the kind of basic courses that we've said, these are courses we'll count as cultural and diversity elective courses. I often encourage students have some autonomy, be creative, look through some courses. An example of a course that I will often count as a cultural and diversity elective is an English course called Post-Colonial Development. And it's looking at post-colonial literature. And so I think it's English 201, one of the sections of English 201. It also counts as a general literature course and as a GLGN course. So if you take something like the English 201 post-colonial development, I will count it as a cultural and diversity elective course. I have to do what is called a, curriculum modification form or waiver to make it count. It doesn't automatically count. And then it'll count for a couple other requirements. So you can take a foreign language at an elementary level, or you can take 2 of the cultural and diversity electives. What happens with community college students who transfer in is they may have only taken 1 semester of a foreign language, maybe Spanish 101. And so the university requires that you either take 2 courses in a foreign language or 2 courses in the cultural and diversity elective. If you are a community college student, you may have taken Spanish 101 your first semester of community college. It's been 2.5 years since you've taken it. I'm not going to force you to take Spanish 102. I will work with you to count the Spanish course as a cultural diversity elective, and then you can take another cultural and diversity elective course and have that count as your 2 cultural and diversity elective courses. So this is just kind of a brief overview of what DegreeWorks is. I've demonstrated to you how to find it, how to kind of navigate through it. I want to go down to this minor in social work. So with the what if analysis, we have incorporated this minor. And the reason I wanted to show you this minor in social work is because, as you can see, the minor in human development family studies, as you can see, it's a pretty rigid minor. You need 3 semester hours in human development family studies, 211, 3 and 212, 321, 390, and then in 2 courses in pretty limited. So I'm going to kind of show you, it'll take a few minutes or a few seconds here. So another minor that students will look at will be peace and conflict studies. So here we're going to go to BSW again. And minor, I'm going to go down to peace and conflict studies. We're going to click the process what if. Everything with the major will be the same. And you look at the minor, you look at it, it's a lot easier. 15 hours, and it has a huge list of courses. So it gives you a lot of autonomy and flexibility, where human development family studies is a little bit more rigid. So if you are looking at these 15 hours of free electives and you're like, I think I may want to do a minor just to give me some guidance and just to make sure I'm meeting all my class requirements and getting all the hours I need, you can do a minor, and this will kind of help you. The peace and conflict studies is a pretty flexible minor, or something like human development family studies is a little bit more rigid minor, but the what if analysis will help you kind of figure out how to look up these courses. So what I want to do next is I want to show you how to look up courses. There's a couple of different ways to do this. And so let's go to UNCG again, and we're going to enter and you go into login, student services and financial aid, and then it'll have registration, and you click registration. And then I have students choose, because you can look up classes to add. I have students choose the add drop class section, and I'll explain to you why you do that. So you click that, and then you choose the semester. Right now, for most of you, will be fall of 2020, and you click submit. And of course, I can't register for classes, but what will come up is there'll be an area where there'll be these little blocks, kind of boxes, and this is where you will enter what is called the CRN, or the course registration number. So of course, I can't do that, but this is how you'll get to that. So I'm going to back that up a little bit just to kind of show you again. So you'll log in, you'll go to registration, you'll go to add drop classes, and then you pick the semester that you're going to register for, which will for most of you be fall 2020, and then it'll have you, most likely it'll prompt you to enter your advising code, and then it'll take you to the area where you can add classes. So I want to go back and show you how to look up these classes, and I want to show you kind of a neat trick with DegreeWorks with this. Okay, so you need to look up classes. So let's go back to DegreeWorks here. So let's say you're going to need a general literature course. Now, I'm not going to be able to do this with social work. I'm going to have to do this with human development and family studies, but it'll give you an idea of what you're doing. So let's just start from the beginning. You need a general literature course, kind of a given. So you go to the UNCG website, and then you go to UNC Genie, and then you look at what is called class schedule. It's 6 down. You click at, and a new window will open up, and it'll prompt you to select a term. So fall 2020, click continue. And here you have subject, course number, keywords, categories, and attributes. So I want to start off with the categories and attributes. So the subjects will be like economics, history, philosophy, religion. But right now, you need a general literature course. First thing, right off the bat. So where it says categories and attributes right here, GEC, you're going to type in, and you can see if you click it, it will pull up a list that you can kind of go through, but you can type in GLT, and it'll be general literature, and then you click search, and what will come up are all the courses that are general literature courses that are offered for the fall semester. And if you scroll down, I usually go down here to 50 per page. And let it update. And then there's 50 courses listed per page. And as you can see, you've got 2 pages of courses. This is where students get frustrated because it really takes time. You have to kind of wade through this. This is part of being in school. This is the catalog that you got to go through. You got to try to figure out what courses you need. These are all the general literature courses. Some of them you can't take because they have restrictions to them, and I'll show you how to figure that out. Some of them are not going to work with your schedule, but students will email me like, well, could you give me a suggestion of a general literature course to take? And I'm probably not going to do that. Like I said, we have 400 students, all at varying, places in their educational pursuits, seniors down to freshmen, and we just do not have time to do this. This is part of your responsibility. You have to take the time. You have to kind of orient yourself to this. You have to get used to it, and you have to kind of look up these classes. So I'm going to use this as an example because it's the first one that kind of starts off, and that's mythology. So mythology, as you look to the right here, what I like about this course, mythology, it is a general literature and a global course. So while you're trying to think of courses, I often encourage students to look at courses that are going to meet 1, 2, and possibly 3 general education requirements. And I'll show you how this will look. So mythology, if you go here and click it, it will pop up a box. And this box will pretty much tell you everything you need. There's a course description. It's not very lengthy, but it gives you an idea. This is all based on Greek and Roman mythology. The categories and attributes, which we just talked about, and the 2 that are really important for you are the fact that it is a global course and a general literature course. Are there any restrictions to this course? There are no restrictions to this course. So you should be fine with that. The instructor meeting time, it'll let you know exactly when the course meets. The enrollment, so this tells you the maximum enrollment. This is a large class. It's 175 students can enroll for it, and currently we have 44 students in there. Are there any co-requisites for this course? There's no co-requisites for this course. Are there any prerequisites for this course? There's no prerequisites for this course, and there's no restrictions. So what that means is you can take this course. So when you go up to the course detail, this is the CRN number, 81356. And so going back to where I had originally shown you the add drop section, you enter your advising code. What you would do is you would take the CRN number and you would enter it into that little block, and you click submit, and it will register you for mythology, the classical civilization mythology course 205. And then you have a course added. And so that's the add drop course. And so that's how I kind of walk students through that, because you can kind of toggle back and forth, looking up courses based on the general attributes, categories and attributes, and going back and entering the course in to add the course. So what I want to show you on DegreeWorks is to kind of give you an idea of, you know, do you need this course? One of the questions I often get from students, especially ones who have not oriented themselves to the DegreeWorks, is, well, do I need a general literature course? And basically what I do is I go and take your UNCG ID number and look it up and look at your DegreeWorks, and there's an empty block, and I say, yes, you need a general literature course. So really that's what you need to do. If you are unsure if you need a general literature course, you look at DegreeWorks, the box is empty, and so you know you need a general literature course. So DegreeWorks has this really neat feature which is called Look Ahead. And so if you click the Look Ahead, so the mythology course is a classical civilization course. It's a CCI 205. So I'm going to enter CCI 205, add course, and then you process. Now this is not adding you in the course. This is just showing you what this course would meet. So what that means is, if you're trying to get an idea of what courses are going to meet what requirements as you try to formulate your schedule, you can use this what if analysis. And as you look, there is the blue squiggly line, general literature, CCI 205, mythology, and a quote, it says plan. So what that means is, you're not registered for this course, but if you take CCI 205, it will meet the general literature requirement. What's really neat about this is if you scroll down, CCI 205 also meets the global non-Western perspective. So you have got a course now that meets both the general literature and a global non-Western. So let's go back to Banner. Let's close this out. Let's go to search again. And I want to go to GPR. I like the GPR courses. They're the philosophy and religion courses, especially the religion courses, because the religion courses has a tendency to meet a couple of general education requirements also. So here are all the GPR courses, the philosophy and religion courses. So I'm going to be scrolling through a lot. And so this is really a good example of this can be somewhat time consuming. You just have to be patient, and you have to kind of work through this system. Let's see if we can find them here. Okay, here we go. So religion courses, Buddhism. So Buddhism is religion course 221. And if you look here, it is a GPR and a GN course. So that's a global non-Western. So remember, one course needs to be at least a GN, and the other course needs to be at least a GLGN. So that's religion 221. So when I go back over here, let's do the look ahead again. So we're thinking about CCI 205. You add that course. So we're looking at REL. And let me make sure I get the right number, 221. 221. Add that course. So you can add multiple courses. Process. And you look this up. And as you can see, we have mythology, which is meeting the general literature course, and we have Buddhism, which is meeting the GPR course. But what you notice is that this box there is still empty. It's empty because you need 3 courses for that to count. So what happens is you still have to kind of really kind of look at this and orient yourself to it, since you need 3 courses, and it says right below this, you still need 2 more classes with the GLT, GFA, or GPR attribute. So once you're in the third course, it'll be a blue squiggly line. And once you've completed those 3 courses, it'll be a check mark. So by using this look ahead, it gives us an idea what courses will meet what requirements. And as we look down and you look here, since Buddhism is a GN course and mythology is a GL course, you've got your GN and your GL requirement met. And so that means that you have almost completed the GL, yes, the GL-GN requirement. This says the 2+. My supposition is that you're going to need 1 GN course and 3 GL-GN courses. I will have to look at one of the students, current students, just to make sure, and not one of the mock students. But this just gives you an idea by using that look ahead, because I would encourage you to kind of develop a couple of different schedules if classes fill up, so that if you can't get in this class, then you can look at this other class. But you can use this this look ahead to kind of give you an idea like, okay, I need a general literature course. This course will count. And so, get that out of the way. Here we go. And so going back to Banner again, to also give you an idea, if you need a writing intensive course, you go to the categories and attributes, you type in WI, these are writing intensive, you click search, and then eventually what will pop up will be all the writing intensive courses. And then the same with any of them. So up here under subject, of course, are all the subject courses that you need. So if you're looking for an English course, you're looking for a social work course, you're looking for a history course. That's not what I wanted. So, so you type in social work, and here are the social work courses, and you click search, and then eventually what comes up is going to be all the social work courses that you will need. If you're doing a minor in peace and conflict studies, you type in peace conflict studies, start typing it in, and then you click search, and then here eventually pops up all the peace and conflict studies courses. So this is how you are able to find courses based on subject and based on categories and attributes. So I know this is overwhelming. You can keep going back through this video. I will help work with you on this as much as I can. We can do phone conversations. We can do Zoom conversations. Zoom conversations is really good because I can kind of help walk you through this a little bit. But these are what you need to do. Get oriented to DegreeWorks and get oriented towards looking up classes and the classes that you need and checking out those marks. So there's another document that, okay, so here is the suggested plan of study. This is something that we will be emailing out to you. And this just kind of gives you an idea on a piece of paper what you need to take, kind of what I've gone over with on the DegreeWorks. And it's just, like I said, it is just a suggested plan of study. So it kind of breaks things down for each academic year, freshman year, sophomore year. So you don't have to necessarily follow this to the letter, but it does give you an idea of what you need. So if you look here in the first semester, you have a literature course, you need a general literature course. You need a general fine arts course. You need what's called a reason and discourse, which is like English 101. But you can kind of work back and forth through this. So you may first semester take a general literature course, and then you may wind up taking Sociology 101 and Human Development. Or you may wind up taking your biology course, which we have down here, and the fourth semester on your second semester. What I have found is that students who usually print this out and keep a copy of it, is that you're able to kind of mark and write on it. And it really was talking about the tangible aspect of it. It gives you something tangible beyond just the DegreeWorks that you have that you can kind of keep up with you, and you can kind of calculate and mark things off as you've taken courses. And then it breaks things down for the junior and senior year, what you'll be needing. As noted here, fall semester of your junior year, social work 310 and 311 are only offered in the fall semester of junior year. Spring semester 325, 351, of course, social work 315. And as you look, 325 is a writing intensive, and 351 is the speaking intensive, which are the two other additional writing and speaking intensive courses that you need. One thing I want to point out down here is we have what's called social work 250. So you need a math course as a requirement, GMT math course requirement at the university. So if you are really good at math, you enjoy stats, you can take stats 108, and that will meet the university's requirement for statistics, and it'll also meet through statistics requirement for social work. You have to have a stats-based course for social work. So some of our students are not very comfortable with stats. They're a little bit more math phobic. So then you would be wanting to take Social Work 250, which I call Stats Light. It's a data analysis course. And if you wind up taking Social Work 250, that means you will need to take a you will need to take a math-based course for the university. And I encourage students to take Math 112, which is topics of math, not to be confused with Math 115, which is college algebra. So if you are good at math, comfortable at math, no statistics, feel like you're going to do well in it, you can take Stats 108. It'll meet the social work requirement for statistics and the university requirement for the mathematics requirement. Or you can take Math 112 and then take Social Work 250, which is our social work data analysis course. You go to the second page of the suggested plan of study, and it gives you ideas pretty much on what you need to know to navigate into the social work program. So of course, for admission to the program, you have to have completed social work 215 with C or better. You have to have at least a C or higher in all social work courses. If you make a C minus in a social work course, you'll have to retake that course. You have to have a minimum GPA of 2.5, 51 credit hours, and you must be enrolled in both 310 and 311 and completed social work 215 with C or higher to apply to the major. This is usually done fall semester of your junior year. Applications are due on December the 7th. And then it breaks it down. Social work 310, 311 is only offered in the fall, so you can't just be in one and take the next one the next semester. If you miss being in 310, 311, you have to wait an entire additional year. So this will kind of upset students. So you need to really make sure you stay on track and let us know if you can't get in these classes so we can get you in them. In the spring semester, social work 315, 325, and 351. Those are when they're offered, so you need to take those. And these are in preparation of getting you ready for field. Now, to enter field, there's a different application process. So you're going to apply to the social work major, and then you're going to apply to field. And that usually happens the beginning of the spring semester of your junior year. To enter field, we really want students to have completed all the general education requirements, and you have to have at least 84 semester hours. What that means is by the beginning of the fall semester of your senior year, you need to have completed these general education courses. Not necessarily to apply for field, but you need to have completed them. And then you will need to be a full-time student your final year. You are going to be in an internship 2 days a week, 16 hours a week. You'll be taking your methods class. You'll be taking a seminar course, which meets every other week, and you'll be taking your upper level social work elective course. So at the minimum, you're going to be having 12 hours each semester. That does not mean that you can't work full time. You just have to be a full-time student your final year. And so, as I was saying, students who usually print this suggested plan of study out and keep up with it, you can mark on it, you can add things up with it and stuff. And so it's a really good kind of resource to have, and one I would encourage you to keep up with. And we email these out, and I try to update them each year, but you want to use the one that's for your incoming year. So that's pretty much it. I hope this covers everything that you need to know. Welcome to UNCG. We're happy to have you in the social work department. I know there's a lot of uncertainty with the coronavirus right now, but we'll try to help you as best we can. If you have any other questions, like I said, just kind of shoot me an email. It's dtroads@uncg.edu. Hope everyone stays healthy and safe. Take care of yourself, and we look forward to seeing you soon.